Since YouTube was founded in February 2005, it's had its fair share of evil creators, from murderers to pedophiles and everything in between. Reddit user HorrorMonster26 shared the evil YouTuber's Iceberg a few months ago, and today we're going to be covering that. Let's investigate. If you enjoy internet mysteries and generally disturbing content, feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications for more content like this. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can become a Ko-fi member or a channel member to gain access to uncut videos and other perks, or you can leave me a tip by clicking the thanks under this video. Thanks to anyone who considers this. This video will cover a range of unsettling topics such as child abuse, CP, murder and massacres. Viewer discretion is advised. You can click the link in the description to become a Ko-fi member and watch a longer, uncut and ad-free version of this video which features a few extra entries. In 2015, Mike Martin created a YouTube channel named Daddy05, which was a family vlogging channel involving him, his wife Heather, and his 5 children, Jake, Ryan, Emma, Cody, and Alex. It eventually amassed around 750,000 subscribers until Mike decided to delete the videos, following backlash from the likes of Philip DeFranco. In addition to their daily vlogging videos, the family also posted prank videos where the children were the butt of the jokes. In one video highlighted by Philip DeFranco, some invisible ink was spilled and Cody and Alex were falsely accused of doing it, resulting in Cody crying hysterically after being screamed and sworn at by the parents. That wasn't even the worst of it though. Some videos even showed the parents encouraging one child, usually the eldest Jake, to physically and psychologically abuse the others. For example, in one, Jake threw Cody through a doorway, causing injuries to his face. I really think YouTube and other platforms need to ban all channels created by parents who rely on their children for content. Obviously, Daddy05 is an extreme example where the children were literally being abused, but almost all family channels inherently invade the privacy of children and plaster their entire lives online without their fully informed consent. Anyway, in 2017, criminal charges for neglect of a minor were filed against Mike and Heather, and after they pled guilty through an Alford plea, they were sentenced to 5 years supervised probation. This didn't stop them though, as they created another channel named Family05, which was subsequently terminated in July 2018 for violating YouTube's guidelines. After this, they continued posting videos on their website behind a $5 monthly paywall. In 2019, they deleted all their videos, stating that they did so to move on with the healing process, but as of 2025, they're now posting again on TikTok under the name The Martin Family. Fantastic Adventures was another family channel created in 2012 by a woman named Michelle Hackney Hobson, who would upload videos of her 7 adopted children. In 2017, neighbours saw one of these children running through the streets naked, leading to an investigation by the Arizona Department of Child Safety. This was one of 9 separate occasions where Michelle was investigated, though no charges were filed due to a lack of evidence. In 2019, Michelle's biological daughter Megan contacted police to report the abuse of her adopted siblings. When police visited the home, other children, who appeared to be malnourished, also reported physical abuse at the hands of Michelle, including one incident where Michelle had allegedly put pepper spray on her daughter's private parts. Michelle and her 2 adult biological sons, Logan and Ryan, were arrested and charged with 30 felony counts of abuse. A couple of months later, she suffered a brain injury that led to the trial being postponed for 15 months, as she was deemed incompetent to stand trial at that time, but she ended up dying in November 2019. Logan and Ryan's charges for failure to report child abuse were dismissed, but new charges for inappropriate misconduct with minors were filed in May 2023. They both pled guilty to SA, and Logan was sentenced to 4.5 years in prison. Ryan was sentenced to 3.5 years. Ruby Frank created her YouTube channel 8 Passengers in early 2015 to vlog her life with her husband Kevin and their 6 children. By 2020, her subscribers had started to become concerned about her harsh parenting methods, including saying her 6-year-old daughter was responsible for preparing and remembering her own lunch for school, and when she forgot one day, Ruby refused to take the lunch to school. Even more worryingly, her 15-year-old son stated that he had been banned from his bedroom and made to sleep on a beanbag for 7 months. In 2022, Ruby and Kevin separated and the channel was terminated a few months later. Ruby subsequently began working as a mental health coach at a company run by Jodie Hildebrandt, where they would also offer parenting classes. The following year, they were both arrested and charged with 6 counts of aggravated child abuse after Ruby's 12-year-old son, emaciated and covered in open wounds with duct tape around his fingers, escaped from Jodie's window and asked a neighbour for food and water. In December 2023, Ruby and Jodie pled guilty to 4 counts of child abuse and not guilty to the other 2, and 3 months later, Ruby was sentenced to a minimum of 4 years in prison. One of the most infuriating parts of this case is that Rudy and Jodie were both members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and they claim that the abuse they inflicted on the children was justified because of their religious beliefs. They said it was to teach the children how to repent for their sins and expel evil from their bodies. Donzel Edward Owens Jr., known online as Plasma Master Don, began uploading YouTube videos in 2007, mostly of himself singing. His subscribers were endeared to what they thought was a harmless old man. Little did they know of his deplorable activity behind the camera. In December 2021, Nick Crowley uploaded a video sharing some incriminating information he found on the Morbid Reality subreddit. Users on here had found records of an SO registry for a man named Donzel Edward Owens, which appears to be the real name of Plasma Master Don, who also looks a lot like the photo of Donzel on the SO registry. There are a number of other similarities too, including the same date of birth, same car, both live in the same city, same birthmark. It was pretty much undeniable that Plasma Master Don was actually a predator, and just 4 days after the original post on the Morbid Reality subreddit in October 2020, Don had announced that he would no longer be uploading videos because his health, particularly his COPD diagnosis, was hindering his singing abilities. Then 10 days after Nick Crowley's video, it was announced that Don had died at the age of 73 due to his illness. Don's YouTube channel is still up, and it's incredibly eerie looking back on his videos knowing what we know now. Someone said he sounds like Herbert singing to Chris in Family Guy, and I can't unhear that now. Demetrius Madsen, known online as Jikishi, is a former YouTuber and streamer who mostly uploaded Minecraft content. On the 23rd of October 2021, he joined the Dream SMP, a private Minecraft server owned by the YouTuber Dream. However, just 2 days later, he was removed after allegations of him grooming over 41 underage fans emerged. He admitted these allegations were true, and as a result, became the first and only person to have been permanently banned from Dream SMP. In 2010, Bryant Terhan Emerson Morland created his YouTube channel under the name EDP445, short for Eat Dat Pussy 445. He would upload videos including vlogs, sports rants, cooking, food reviews and gaming. In October 2020, allegations emerged of Bryant behaving inappropriately towards underage minors. Another YouTuber, Cold Raven, uploaded a video exposing Bryant and later even posed as an underage child to catch Bryant out, and he took the bait. Bryant uploaded 2 videos responding to Cold Raven's claims, in which he basically admitted it, saying that if you're 15 to 17 years old and you carry and can dress yourself like an adult, you don't get to play the victim. He also said he was a victim of attention-seeking girls that are trying to lead him on by dressing provocatively, which is honestly a wild thing to say. In April 2021, 2 YouTubers who hunt down predators confronted Bryant about messages he sent to someone who was posing as a 13-year-old girl, including nude photos and content involving his own shit. A few days later, Bryant made all these videos private before announcing on Facebook that he'd be re-uploading them all on his website. As recently as March 2025, he has tried to make a comeback, though his channels have all been terminated. Romeo Lacoste is a tattoo artist who has worked on various celebrities, including Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber, and Kendrick Lamar. He has a YouTube channel which currently has over 870,000 subscribers, though he hasn't posted in around 3 years. In 2019, a message surfaced from 2016 between Romeo and underage fans. 2 minors aged 14 and 15 were in contact with him and felt that the way he was talking to them seemed off, so they decided to make a fake account where they pretended to be a girl who was soon turning 18. Romeo allegedly asked this fake girl if she wanted to do it or wait till you're 18. Shortly after these messages were publicised, he appeared on Drama Alert, where he admitted that some of the messages were real, but claimed some were fabricated. He also spoke about being new to social media and fans throwing themselves at him. Justin Carmichael, known online as Dew Warrior, was a YouTuber who began uploading gaming videos in 2006. He later became affiliated with Channel Awesome until he left the site in 2013. On the 23rd of January, Justin's wife revealed that he had taken his own life after locking himself in the bathroom with her on the other side of the door. His subscribers and colleagues from Channel Awesome paid their respects, and his death was seen as a tragedy until some shocking allegations later ruined his reputation. In April 2018, when a number of Channel Awesome producers accused the CEO and others of abuse, neglect, and misconduct, one anonymous woman claimed to have been groomed and SA'd by an unnamed producer. Channel Awesome's response to these claims included screenshots revealing that this producer was terminated on the same day that Justin left the site, inadvertently outing him. A few days later, a Reddit user also alleged that she had been SA'd by Justin in her sleep, and other producers corroborated her story. Marcus Wilton, known online as Lionmaker, was a Minecraft YouTuber who amassed around 500,000 subscribers before he made a shocking confession in December 2015. Rumours had circulated in Minecraft chat rooms for quite some time that Marcus had behaved inappropriately towards his young fans, and finally admitted to having an intimate relationship with a YouTuber named Paige the Panda when she was underage. He met her when she was 14 and even admitted to posting nude images of her online. A few hours later, he deleted the confession tweets and claimed he had been hacked. More allegations of harassment and SA would subsequently surface, leading to him being investigated for statutory SA and distributing CP. He stopped posting online, but then his channel suddenly started uploading again in 2017, with his friends saying that he is recovering from a rough couple of years and will be back, but for now they would be making videos to keep his subscribers entertained. The channel was eventually taken down, and he attempted to make a comeback the following year, but that channel was also terminated. Austin Jones is a former musician who was active on YouTube from 2007 to 2017. In 2015, he was set to participate in the upcoming Vans Warped Tour, but an anonymous 15-year-old girl started a Change.org petition to revoke it due to inappropriate messages that he had sent to minors as young as 13. Austin later withdrew from the tour himself, then uploaded a video on YouTube admitting that the messages were real. He apologised but claimed that there was no nudity in the videos. In 2017, Austin was arrested on 2 counts of producing CP after he persuaded an underage fan to make explicit videos of herself. He was later sentenced to 10 years in federal prison. Amos Yee was a child actor who later went on to become a blogger and YouTuber. He spent 4 weeks in prison in Singapore in 2015 after uploading a video labelling the recently deceased Prime Minister as a dictator. A couple of years later, by which time he had sought political asylum in the US, he made blog posts and uploaded videos supporting paedophilia, saying he believes that if someone younger than 18 consents to contact with an adult, they should be allowed to do so and the adult should not be jailed. It should come as no surprise that he himself turned out to be a paedophile, and in October 2020, he was arrested on charges of solicitation and possession of CP after exchanging nudes with a 14-year-old girl. He was sentenced to 6 years in prison. Mike Lombardo is yet another YouTuber who turned out to be a paedophile. He used to post his music on YouTube, where he eventually gained over 20,000 subscribers. He was also signed to DFTBA Records until February 2012, when an investigation was launched after he allegedly exchanged nude photos with a total of 6 underage fans. He later pled guilty to receipt of CP and was sentenced to 5 years in prison. He was released in August 2018 and has since gone on to do audio work under the name Michael Lawrence. David Hugh Rock was the owner of a channel named David's Farm, which had been around since the early days of YouTube. In 1991, he had been convicted of 2 counts of SA, and his later subscribers presumably weren't aware of these convictions or didn't care. Still, there were ongoing rumours of similar activity occurring at the farm where he filmed his videos and invited young people to hang out. In 2016, police found a CP film hidden under a carpet in his home, and despite David's claims that he didn't realise the film was CP, he was subsequently jailed. Mahoto Watanabe is a former YouTuber and rapper who was banned from YouTube after a 15-year-old girl claimed that he had solicited nudes from her, then blackmailed her with them. He admitted it to his agency, and when the victim later went to the police, he was arrested on charges of CP and forced child S work. He was fined 500,000 yen, around $3,300, but never served any time in prison. He had previously been arrested for battery after allegedly beating a female acquaintance, and in March 2023, he was arrested on suspicion of assaulting his ex-wife. Starlet Jin Zhao, known online as Jinbop, was a gaming YouTuber who posted from December 2013 to August 2016. Around a month after he stopped uploading, another YouTuber named Scars made a video after finding public court documents relating to Starlet being in possession of CP. Scars said he believed Starlet had stopped posting because he was in police custody, and turns out he was right. Starlet was sentenced to 7 years in prison and was released in June 2022 for good behaviour. I wasn't able to find much information on Yoselene Hoffman in English, so the following information comes from a translated Wikipedia article, but from what I gather, she was a YouTuber who posted vlogs, challenges and fashion videos. In 2019, she was on a yacht with 10 other people when she uploaded a video being rude to the driver when he went in the wrong direction. She received a lot of backlash on Twitter and subsequently deleted her account. In 2021, she was arrested for allegedly describing CP after she spoke about an incident involving some teenagers fighting in Mexico City that was somehow linked to CP. She didn't show any CP in her video or even describe it, so I'm not really sure what crime she actually committed. I may have misunderstood the incident though, so if anyone can provide more info in the comments, please do. Anyway, she spent 5 months in prison and was released in November that year. MadThat0890, real name Thaddius McMichael, is an online personality who posted on YouTube, Facebook and elsewhere. He openly admitted to liking children and watching CP on Facebook, leading to the FBI launching an investigation. He tried to claim that his posts were only jokes, such as him talking about adopting a little girl and making her his slave, but unsurprisingly, hundreds of illegal images and videos were found on his hard drive. He was banned from using the internet and made to wear an ankle monitor, but then he posted on Twitter just 3 days before his time was up and ended up getting sent to prison for 5 years. David Alejandro Pascual Argueta is a YouTuber, animator and artist who started out posting gaming videos before moving on to animation memes. He was involved in a number of controversies, including him tracing other artists' work to pass off as his own and threatening physical violence towards people who worked for him. More concerningly, multiple underage girls publicly accused him of soliciting nudes and sending them inappropriate content. In April 2019, he was arrested on CP charges and later sentenced to 3 years and 5 months in prison. Cadence Pinder uploaded YouTube videos documenting her life as a trans woman. She also ran a daycare centre with her boyfriend, Marcus Strebel, and had been investigated in the past for an alleged offence against a child, but the case was later dropped. In 2019, Google tipped off police after detecting CP being uploaded to an account used by the couple. Cadence claimed that she thought the children featured in the content were older, and also suggested that Marcus may have accidentally downloaded it from Tumblr. Nicholas Boyd Stutzenberger, known online as Dr. Nicholas Bate, or Nick Bate, is a YouTuber who began uploading in 2009 after being active on LiveJournal and DeviantArt years prior. He typically posted short vlogs and gained notoriety due to his unusual habits. He admitted that he doesn't shower or clean himself apart from washing his hair. He doesn't brush his teeth, so they started rotting. He also has a thing for shit, so to speak, and showed a wall he covered in feces that he gets off to. He also confessed to having homicidal thoughts towards his mother, stepfather and aunt, though he claimed he would never actually murder them. In April 2015, Nick was arrested years after he reportedly SA'd his half-sister, who was between 5 and 7 years old at the time. He was sentenced to 16.5 to 40 years in prison. There is no way I could possibly summarise the whole Chris Chan story in a short Iceberg entry, but I actually have a whole video on it if you want to know more. In a nutshell, Chris has been active online for around 20 years, and is known for creating the infamous Sonichu webcomic, which is basically a bizarre rip-off of Sonic the Hedgehog and Pokemon. Chris has been relentlessly bullied and trolled online since 2007 for their physical appearance, dramatic outbursts, and quest to find love, among other things. In 2021, it was revealed that Chris had inappropriate contact with their mother, resulting in them spending time in jail and a psychiatric hospital until their release in March 2023. Ian Rylett is one of the founders of 7 Awesome Kids, which consists of 7 different channels targeted at girls, and involving more than 20 girls aged 8 to 18 who post daily videos directed by Ian. You can see where this is going. In September 2018, he was arrested during a video shoot with one of the girls on his channel on suspicion of child SA. He eventually pled guilty and was sentenced to just 90 days in prison, plus 5 years probation. His channels were later terminated. Carl Herald was a YouTuber who posted educational videos about computer programming. He was also somewhat of an early Reddit celebrity, known on the site as Carl H. In late 2013, though, he disappeared from the internet. Turns out he had been arrested after he and his partner, Charles Dunavant, had locked Carl's son in the basement, essayed him, and made CP of it, then posted the content online. He was jailed for these crimes, but in 2014, while awaiting trial, he took his own life. Charles was sentenced to 36 years in prison, which was later extended by another 20 years. Andre Tucker, known on YouTube as Otako Studio, began uploading animations in February 2016. 3 years later, he and 2 other people were arrested in connection with human trafficking of a 12-year-old girl. He allegedly engaged in inappropriate activity with her in exchange for money after responding to an ad of her online. Stephen Fernandez is also known as Baby Scumbag online, which is a pretty fitting name. He was a professional skateboarder and YouTuber who, at the age of just 15, was arrested for the alleged exploitation of a 12-year-old girl. One of his colleagues and his manager were also arrested, though Stephen was thought to be the main conspirator. He was placed on house arrest with an ankle monitor. German Loera uploaded motivational and business-related videos on YouTube until he was arrested in 2020 for kidnapping a woman and demanding a ransom of over $100,000 in Bitcoin. Police rescued the woman 2 days later. He was sentenced to 50 years in prison and ordered to pay a $25,000 fine. Earl David Weren used to upload YouTube videos criticising law enforcement and testing the limits of where he can take his camera. He was already a convicted S offender, then in 2022 he was sentenced to 20 years in prison for essaying a child in 2002. Naseem Najafi Agdam was a YouTuber with a grudge against YouTube after her videos had reportedly been censored and demonetized. On the 3rd of April 2018, she entered the YouTube headquarters in California and shot 3 people with a semi-automatic pistol before taking her own life. Thankfully, the victims survived. Kelli Stapleton began uploading family vlogs in 2007 involving her daughter Izzy. She suddenly stopped uploading in 2012, and the following year she drove herself and Izzy, who was 14 at the time, to an isolated area where she gave her sleeping pills, then placed 2 charcoal burning grills in the van in an attempt to kill them both by carbon monoxide poisoning. Both survived, though Izzy was in a coma for 4 years and suffered brain damage, leaving her with lasting memory loss and problems with balance. Kelli was sentenced to between 10 and 22 years in prison. Jessica Worsham, known on YouTube as the Indigo Mystic, was also a single mum of 2 daughters. Her mental health began deteriorating in 2020 when she started posting videos in which she seemed aggressive and claimed she was being gang-stalked. She soon became homeless for a period of time and, along with her daughters, was in between various different temporary homes. She would start fights with people who tried to help provide accommodation and get her daughters to film the fights and post them on her channel. They could often be seen crying in the videos. Eventually, her children were taken off her and custody was given to her ex-husband Sean. Jessica wasn't happy with this and decided to go on the run with her daughters while still posting on her channel the whole time. The situation came to a head in November 2021 when she got into a fight and pushed an elderly person to the ground. When police arrived, she shot one of the officers, resulting in her death 3 days later. Police shot Jessica in retaliation and she died immediately. Her children filmed the entire thing and later uploaded it on the YouTube channel. Erich Stelzer was a bodybuilder who began uploading workout videos in 2016. He'd reportedly suffered with his mental health, and his mother called police to request a welfare check on him in 2018 after her neighbour called her to say he'd heard loud crashes coming from the house. When police arrived at the house, they heard a woman screaming about being killed. Turned out that was Erich's girlfriend Megan Ball, and police found her on the floor upstairs, her and the room covered in blood, with Erich holding a piece of broken glass to her throat. The officers tased Erich, who was growling and screaming, "I am God." He'd become convinced that she was the devil and had murdered his mother and sister, which obviously wasn't the case. Erich ended up dying shortly after, but thankfully Megan survived. Carter Boyles, known online as Bob8466, posted some pretty concerning videos, such as simulations of school shootings and other massacres. He began hinting that he planned to commit such a crime in real life, and on the 9th of September 2016, when he was just 15 years old, he brought a gun to his school intending to murder fellow students. He was convinced against it, but ended up taking his own life. Matthias Ignacio Vera Oyazo began uploading on YouTube in September 2014 under the name Peluchin Entertainment. His content included gameplays and animations that often centered around violence and gore. In 2018, he started posting videos of himself abusing his cat, at first shoving an opened tin of cat food into his face while holding him, then picking him up by his tail and dropping him. I'll spare you the sickening details, but let's just say he ended up taking these attacks much further, resulting in the cat dying. He then got 2 new kittens and also posted himself abusing them. He publicly said he doesn't care about his cats and will keep adopting them to kill them, and also said he would kill his mother too. His channel was eventually terminated, but it doesn't sound like he ever faced any legal consequences. Leighton Labute was a YouTuber who posted various disturbing videos, such as gory animations involving clay figures. He was arrested in 2020 after he uploaded videos on Reddit showing himself killing and torturing 3 hamsters. I wasn't able to find much information at all about the channel Boots Made for Crushing, apart from one Reddit post on the Tip of My Tongue subreddit where a user was trying to remember the name of the channel. According to the post, it was run by a man who wore boots and crushed apples, but it turned out he also had a separate secret channel where he would crush snails. The channel has been terminated. Tony48219, real name Anthony Powell, was a YouTuber who uploaded a number of videos expressing hatred towards black women and atheists in particular. Throughout his 2 years on the site, his mental health seemed to deteriorate as he began talking about taking his own life. On the 10th of April 2009, he entered the Mackenzie Fine Arts Centre where he was a student, found another student named Asia McGowan and shot her, then himself. Asia was also a YouTuber who posted dance routines and comedy skits and was an advocate for women's rights and atheism. Stas Reeflay's channel featured a number of concerning videos showing the abuse of his girlfriend, Valentina Grigorieva, in which he would slap her, break plates over her head, and pepper spray her. In 2020, he was live streaming when someone paid him $1,000 to kick her out of his home and leave her on the balcony in her underwear. He later went to bring her back in, but it was too late. She had already died of hypothermia. Aaron Campbell was a gaming YouTuber who at the age of 16 kidnapped 6-year-old Alicia McPhail when he broke into her home, initially planning to steal cannabis from her father, who he'd bought drugs off before. He took Alicia to the grounds of a demolished hotel where he essayed and murdered her. He pled not guilty and tried to pin the crime on Alicia's dad's girlfriend, though CCTV footage, DNA, and fibres from his clothing made his involvement clear. He later confessed and stated that he was quite satisfied with the murder. He was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of 27 years. Samantha Wohlford is a YouTuber who posted vlogs about her personal life and dreams of becoming an actor. In February 2015, police arrived at a home she shared with her husband, Ernie, to find a disturbing scene. Samantha had been tied up and said that Ernie had been kidnapped. His body was found in the woods later that day. 3 men were arrested for the crime, but it turned out that Samantha had actually planned the whole thing, possibly because Ernie was allegedly abusive towards her. She was sentenced to 99 years in jail. In 2020, 32-year-old Alyssa Anne Dayvault was convicted of killing her 2 newborn babies. In December 2018, she delivered a placenta and umbilical cord at a local hospital, though there was no sign of a baby. She admitted to giving birth to a boy earlier that month and said he was born alive and took several breaths after birth. However, she claimed to have blacked out for 15 minutes and made no attempt to seek medical care for the baby, and as a result he died, so she disposed of his body in the bin at her home. When police searched the home, they found the baby's remains. When Alyssa was being interrogated, she also admitted that she had given birth to a baby girl around a year prior, and she was born with the umbilical cord wrapped around her neck. As with the other baby, Alyssa didn't seek medical treatment, so the baby died. She also threw the body of this baby away with the trash. She had hidden both pregnancies from everyone, including her boyfriend and mother. At the trial, the pathologist testified that the baby boy had defecated in the bin, meaning he was still alive when he was put in there and ended up dying of suffocation. Alyssa was sentenced to 40 years in prison without the possibility of parole. Prior to this, Alyssa had a YouTube channel where she would upload makeup tutorials. Devon Erickson was a gaming YouTuber known online as Not So Fantastic Devon. On the 7th of May 2019, he and his acquaintance Alex McKinney left school during their lunch break and went to Devon's house. Alec coerced Devon into breaking open a gun safe with a crowbar and axe, and they took out the guns that were in there. They also took cocaine before returning to school. Devon later claimed that he had planned to tell a teacher about Alec's plans, but didn't get a chance. Shortly after, they entered a classroom through different doors, and when Alec reached for one of the guns, Devon claims he shouted at the students to get down before 2 of them rushed at him, causing the weapon to fire. He stated that he did not intend to harm anyone. 18-year-old Kendrick Castillo was killed in the shooting, and 8 other students were injured. Alec was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 20 years, and Devon was sentenced to life in prison without parole. In October 2020, 48-year-old Trent Paschal was arrested for fatally shooting his wife Savannah. Shortly after the murder, he had uploaded a video on YouTube addressed to his 2 children in which he told them he loves them and he is sorry. He claimed that he did it because of infidelity. However, Savannah's mother, who was there at the time but managed to escape, stated that Trent shot Savannah after she told him she couldn't live with a person who was a habitual criminal. Trent was shot by police at the time of his arrest when he refused to drop his gun. He spent months recovering from his injuries in jail before he was let out on bond in April 2021, at which time he went on the run. 9 months later, police managed to track him down, but when they approached the vehicle he was in, he took his own life. Dylan Thomas Poutney, known online as Juniper Crossing, would upload vlogs while smoking. He apparently was part of some kind of smoking cult and would often mention another YouTuber, Wazzy Luminous, who was the leader of this cult that encouraged people to harm themselves. In 2024, Dylan was found guilty of second-degree murder after he fatally stabbed 17-year-old Jennifer Winkler, a fellow student and also daughter of his late mother's ex-partner. While it's believed he put on a bit of an act to seem less mentally competent than he was determined to have been psychotic at the time of the murder, and since the court couldn't be sure that the murder was premeditated, they weren't able to convict him of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to a minimum of 12 years in prison, at which point he'll be eligible for parole. In 2023, Daniel Sancho, a 30-year-old chef with a YouTube channel, was on holiday in Koh Phangan, Thailand with 44-year-old Edwin Artiega when an altercation occurred. Daniel later claimed that he got into a fight with Edwin after he allegedly tried to essay him, then Edward fell and hit his head on a bathtub, causing him to lose consciousness and die. According to the police, however, Daniel planned the murder because Edwin had threatened to out their alleged relationship, which would have disgraced him and his family. Daniel denied this, however CCTV footage showed him buying a knife, rubber gloves, bin bags and cleaning products shortly before Edwin's death. He also admitted to dismembering Edwin's body and disposing of the parts on land and at sea. Daniel Bartlam, also known as the Coronation Street Killer, was 14 years old when he murdered his own mother with a hammer and set her body on fire. He had been particularly inspired by a character in the British soap opera Coronation Street, who had murdered a woman with a hammer, then left her body in the wreckage of a tram crash. His internet history revealed that he had watched many clips from various soaps on YouTube, as well as the movie Saw, and he also had his own YouTube channel where he would post clips of soaps and vlogs. After being found guilty of murdering his mother, he was jailed for a minimum of 16 years. Giannis Paraskakis began uploading vlogs on YouTube in January 2012, featuring him and his friends playing with animals and shooting guns. In 2019, he admitted to running over a woman named Suzanne Eaton with his car, putting her body in the boot and driving her to a remote World War II bunker where he essayed her and left her to die. However, her cause of death was revealed to be asphyxiation, suggesting he may have actually killed her before leaving rather than just leaving her to die. He was sentenced to life in prison. In 2022, 32-year-old Natalie McNally, who was 15 weeks pregnant at the time, was murdered, the cause being stab wounds and compression of the neck, as well as blunt force trauma. Her partner, Stephen McCullough, was charged with the murder and is currently awaiting trial. The date was initially set for the 6th of May this year, though an article on the 16th of May stated that there had been delays and it's not clear when the trial will be. Nathan Gann was a vlogger on YouTube who lived with his stepfather Tim McNeil and sister Bray Hansen following the self-inflicted death of their mother. In July 2007, Bray called the police and said that a masked intruder had fatally shot her 63-year-old stepfather. Prior to this, Bray and Nathan were close with Tim and Bray even called him Daddy. However, their mother was not so affectionate towards them and physically and psychologically abused them, particularly Nathan. This made the truth about Tim's murder even more shocking. Within 12 hours of the supposed break-in, police had pieced together the evidence and determined that Bray and Nathan were responsible. It seemed that money was the main motivator, however Bray also alleged that Tim had become inappropriate with her as she got older. She also claims to have been SA'd by Nathan, and he was the one who actually shot Tim, though Bray was in on the plan. Both were sentenced to life in prison. In July 2020, Ash Armand, YouTuber and reality TV star, was arrested after beating his friend to death. The pair had taken magic mushrooms together, and Ash claimed that Harleen had attacked him, then he blacked out. He called an ambulance sometime later to report her unconscious, but when they arrived, she was obviously deceased. He stated that he temporarily lost his mind and would confess when police arrived. He eventually pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter to spare her family a trial and was sentenced to between 8 and 20 years in prison. Angelisho Betts, real name Jose Angel Ramos Betts, only ever uploaded 3 videos on YouTube. In January 2020, at the age of 11, he entered his private school in Mexico armed with 2 guns and opened fire, killing a teacher and injuring another before turning the gun on himself. It's believed that he was inspired by the Columbine shooting. In 2021, Claudia Hernandez, Rene Hernandez Santos, and Rene Trigueros Hernandez killed 3-year-old Arily Do in an exorcism ritual in a makeshift church. The perpetrators were Arily's mother, uncle, and grandfather. They smothered her, caused internal bleeding, and repeatedly rendered her unconscious by applying pressure to her neck and torso, all in an attempt to expel the spirit they believe had possessed her. Claudia uploaded a video on YouTube nonchalantly talking about her dead daughter and even laughing at one point. I assume the trial hasn't started yet, as I wasn't able to find any info on the outcome. In 2019, Verphy Kudi spent 6 days partying to celebrate her 18th birthday, which would be fine had she not left her 20-month-old baby at home alone the whole time. This was not the first time the baby, named Isaiah, had been left alone. Less than a month prior, she had been left for more than 2 days. Tragically, this time she starved to death. Verphy pleaded guilty to manslaughter and was sentenced to 9 years in prison. I guess she had a YouTube channel considering she's on this iceberg, but I wasn't able to find any information about it. Trey Eric Sesler, known online as Mr. Anime, uploaded skits and videos reviewing anime series. In February 2012, he uploaded a video titled, "Mr. Anime is planning something." Little did his subscribers know that his plan was to kill his family the following month. He lured his mother to the garage, shot her, then his brother, then his father. He also killed their pets. He had planned to shoot up his school too, though while sitting in his car in the car park, he decided against it. He was arrested the following day and confessed to his crimes, stating that he killed his family because he didn't want them to be ashamed of him for the planned school shooting. He was later sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Randy Stair had worked at a Weis Market supermarket for 7 years when one night in June 2017, he decided to barricade the exits and fatally shoot 3 of his co-workers, then himself. In videos uploaded on YouTube and elsewhere prior to the incident, he expressed his desire to take his own life due to a number of issues he was facing, including a fear of aging past his 20s and questioning his gender identity. Just hours before the attack, he had uploaded a video titled The Westboro High Massacre, an animated story featuring a fictional high school where his character murdered various students. In November 2007, 18-year-old Pekka-Eric Auvinen entered his school in Finland with a semi-automatic pistol. He killed 8 people and injured 13 others, then turned the gun on himself. He died in hospital later that evening. His parents had previously tried to get him referred to a psychiatric clinic for his depression and anxiety, though doctors believed his symptoms were too mild to hospitalize him and instead recommended antidepressants. He had reportedly been planning the attack since at least early March 2006. Pekka had various social media accounts and 2 YouTube channels where he uploaded videos about school shootings and violent incidents. In January 2011, Jared Lee Launer killed 6 people and injured 7 others at a constituent meeting in Tucson, Arizona. His personality had begun to change after he dropped out of high school in 2006. He became anti-government and got into conspiracy theories as well as taking drugs. He particularly had a grudge against US Representative Gabby Giffords after he attended her 2007 event when he believed she did not sufficiently answer his question of, "What is government if words have no meaning?" He kept her form letter in a box with handwritten phrases saying things like, "Assassination plans have been made." She would end up being one of his victims, though thankfully she survived. Jared had a YouTube channel named Class It Up 10 where he would post about the government, religion, and mind control. In August 2021, 22-year-old Jake Davison shot and killed 5 people, including his mother, then himself. Prior to this, he would upload videos on YouTube under the name Professor Waffle, where he would talk about inceldom and nihilism in general. He also posted on Reddit about his resentment towards his mother. Elliot Rodger is perhaps the most well-known incel mass murderer. In 2014, he killed 7 people, including himself, and injured 14 others in what has become known as the Isla Vista killings. In the week leading up to the shooting, he uploaded 22 YouTube videos talking about his loneliness and frustration due to many failed attempts at finding a girlfriend. Before this, he had already created a 137-page manifesto titled My Twisted World, The Story of Elliot Rodger. In it, he talked more about being an incel and described women as a plague who shouldn't be allowed to choose their own partners and shouldn't have any rights at all. He also detailed his plan for what he called his Day of Retribution. Van Stone, real name William Edward Atchison, was a YouTuber who created simulations of real-life tragedies such as the Columbine Massacre. In 2017, at the age of 21, he posed as a student and entered the Aztec High School in New Mexico, where he shot and killed 2 students, then himself. In a note he wrote shortly before, he said, "Work sucks, school sucks, life sucks, I just want out of this shit." In December 2012, 20-year-old Adam Lanza killed 26 people, including 20 children aged 6 to 7, then himself, in the deadliest elementary school shooting in US history. Prior to the incident, he was said to be living in almost total isolation in his bedroom, spending most of his time playing World of Warcraft and other games, communicating only in a small community of people that served as an echo chamber for his obsessive interest in mass murder. His YouTube channel named Cultural Philistine was later discovered, where he explained his motive. In a nutshell, he believed he was saving the children he planned to kill from a corrupt society. George Sodini uploaded a number of YouTube videos and blog posts talking about how unhappy he was because he didn't have a girlfriend. He spoke about wanting to find a girlfriend who was 10 to 20 years younger than him, and in one of his videos showing a tour of his home, there was a book titled Date Young Women. He also made a blog post talking about his plans to commit a mass murder, which he decided to postpone so he could see the results of the upcoming election. He eventually went through with it on the 4th of August 2009 at the LA Fitness Gym in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He killed 4 people, including himself, and injured 9 others. Big Slim's real name, Vladislav Rosakov, was a Minecraft YouTuber who only ever uploaded one video just a few days after the channel's creation in 2014. 4 years later, when he was 18, he entered the Kerch Polytechnic College in Crimea armed with a shotgun and killed 20 people, then himself, leaving 67 others injured. It's believed that he had been bullied at the college and also had a vendetta against the teachers there. He was in a number of online communities dedicated to serial and mass killers. In June 2014, married couple Gerard and Amanda Miller shot and killed 3 people, including 2 police officers. When police arrived at the scene, they shot and killed Gerard, then Amanda took her own life. They held extreme anti-government and anti-police views and would post about them on YouTube and Facebook. Some of the videos showed Gerard dressed as the Joker. Just a few days prior to the incident, Gerard made a post talking about how they must prepare for war, which ended with, quote, "To stop this oppression, I fear, can only be accomplished with bloodshed." Matti Juhani Saari had a YouTube channel where he uploaded videos of himself firing a handgun at a local shooting range. He also had footage of the Columbine massacre in his favourites list. This resulted in an anonymous tip-off to the Finnish police, who searched his home and talked to him but found no legal basis to arrest him. The next day, he shot and killed 11 people, including himself, at the Kauhajoki School of Hospitality. 11 other people were injured. In November 2018, Scott Paul Beierle shot 6 women, 2 of them fatally, then himself, at a yoga studio in Florida. He had previously uploaded videos on YouTube stating that he was an incel and that he sympathized with Elliot Rodger, as he also felt lonely and unloved. He also complained about black people, illegal immigration, and interracial relationships, such as in one video titled "Dangers of Diversity." He had planned the attack months in advance, and police determined his motive was his hatred of women. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts in the comments, plus any topics you might like me to cover in the future. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. Huge thank you to my Ko-fi members and channel members whose names are on screen now. I really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time in a new video.